Hi, today is leftover day. The other day I bought a whole chicken and I carved it. I left meat on the bones on purpose because I wanted to make croquette. Very often a croquette is made with ham, but I'm gonna make it today with chicken. Normally I would do my croquette with mashed potato, but today I'm gonna make it like the Spanish do with a sauce bechamel. Because I'm gonna make croquettes today, I need oil, and because I have potatoes left, I'm gonna do a tortilla de patatas. I use the oil for the tortilla, and afterward I will fry some of my croquette. The rest of the croquette I will freeze raw, so it's ready to take out or whenever I want. First, we are gonna do the tortilla, and while the tortilla is baking, we are gonna do the croquette. We start by using refined oil because it's gonna be very hot. First, I fill my pan half up. I blanch the onions. When the oil is hot, we add potatoes and the onions. You leave this to simmer until it's done. When the butter is melted, we add first the onions. You don't want it to be too warm because otherwise you can burn it. We blanch this until the onions start to get colored. Now my onions are starting to take color. So I add my nutmeg, salt and pepper. I have pepper in it, and my chicken. Now I add the flour for the bechamel. You have to warm it well because it has to be absorbed by the butter. But you also have to make sure the taste of flour has diminished. That's why you warm it very well. You bring it up to boiling point. And now the milk. The flour is soaking the milk. I wanted a creamy consistency. This is the one I like. Now I just have to cool this down. Normally you make this dough for the croquette the day before and leave it to cool down in the fridge, so you can make it the day after. Now my potatoes are finished. I'm gonna strain it, and this I'm gonna freeze. The dough for my croquettes are done now. I add a little bit of oil. When my egg is whipped, I add the potatoes that has been drained, and I pour it into my pan. You don't want too much heat on it. I will bake it through. Many like it to be wet inside. If you would like to have it soft inside, you just bake it for a shorter time. So I'm gonna turn it. And I'm gonna bake it a little bit more on the other side. This should take you about half an hour to make. I have some frozen herb dressing. As you can see, it is baking through. I will portion it and I will freeze the rest. When I do tortilla, if I can, I will always use the potatoes with the peel on, because the peel contains a lot of nutrition that you can utilize. If the skin on the potatoes is not very thick, you can always wash the potato well and use it in your food, because the skin of fruit and potatoes, apples, pears, all these fruit that have skin on, the skin contains a lot of fibers and nutrition you can utilize. The same when you bake, if you bake a cake with the apples. Now my croquette dough is colder, so I'm gonna prepare some of it. When you fry first in flour, then you put in whipped eggs. The breadcrumbs is a typical Spanish one. I put the oil in. And you make them as big as you want. I'm just gonna make a few to show you how it's done. You have to cook it for 5 minutes. Leftovers. See, the dough has been in the fridge and it's very easy to work with now. The reason why you do it both with egg and flour and breadcrumb is that it should prevent the oil to go into the croquette, but it's only being on the surface. So that's why it's important that it's covered. And you have to make them even, especially if you are baking a lot of them. This is a nice snack also if you just want something that's not an apple. This I think is called laziness, and they get bigger and bigger. You have to work it fast, because otherwise it will get warmer and then of course it gets softer. This is the meat from the stock I made the other day. And onions, butter and milk. You can get a lot out of what you normally would throw out after you made the stock. If you rinse the bones before it's cold, it's easier. You can take plastic gloves on. So I have 16. This will go in the freezer and you can save this for 3 months. So now I know. The rest of my oil, I will strain it and I can use it for later.